10 questions from viewers all about moving to or buying a home in Summerville, South Carolina. So you were on Zillow at 1 a.m. and you found a charming house in Summerville for half the price of anything back home. And now you're wondering, is this real life or did I just get Southern bait and switch? Because I've got the answers. And today I am diving into 12 questions you, as my viewers, write into me and ask your questions all the time. And I have put all of your questions together and we're gonna pull each one and discuss each question. And I'm gonna give you a thorough answer. And today I have Tasha and baby Lily joining me in studio because, well, it's raining cats and dogs outside.
This is the worst.
No vlog tours this week, folks, unfortunately. So first one, diving right in, is Summerville a good place to live for families or retirees? Now, I would say yes, Tasha, wouldn't you? Yes. And why did we pick it for our family?
Because we live in a family-friendly neighborhood with lots of kids and close to schools and golf carts to be able to take the kids to school in the golf cart. Just a family-friendly neighborhood.
And she seems to really enjoy it as well.
Yes.
It's one of the things that I think Summerville is kind of special for, because not only do you have, like Tasha mentioned, which is like the golf cart trails and things of that nature, but the lifestyle here is fantastic. For kids, there's so many things to do. There's so many after-school activities and programs. Not to mention, there's just a plethora of sports, outdoor parks, recreation areas, water parks, splash pads, you name it. It's all through Summerville. And that's really what I think makes it so special for families. Now, for retirees, it's got a ton of additional stuff and kind of similar things. You know, a lot of outdoor activities, a lot of lakes, a lot of waterways, a lot of parks, which is, again, you know, different kind of parks. You know, you've got walking trails here. You have different areas. Azaleas are really big, so people like to go see the azaleas in Azalea Park. So Summerville just has that lifestyle, and Tasha and I have toured some of these 55 plus communities together, and I got to tell you, the schedule for activities is bonkers. I mean, there's like 8 things in a day's time to do, starting from, 6 o'clock in the morning yoga all the way to, in the evening for food truck rodeos. So it's definitely a vibrant area for folks who are looking to retire or families. And if you've got a big family like we do, the cost savings is going to be what's going to be the game changer for you. All right, moving on. Number 2. So what's the cost of living compared to Charleston or Mount Pleasant? And this is one where I will tell you, I have done a lot of research. I've looked up the numbers, and honestly, the house prices are extremely more expensive in Charleston and Mount Pleasant. And I mean, we're not talking like double, we're talking triple. So, if you're looking at a home in Summerville that's $485, triple that number and place that same home in Mount Pleasant in like a Carolina Park or a Park West or a Dunes West, you're going to expect to pay 3 times the cost of that same home in Mount Pleasant, just because it's sitting in Mount Pleasant. Now, does that mean everything's more expensive in Mount Pleasant? No. Gas is relatively still affordable in comparison to other areas and surrounding areas. The just overall cost of shopping, stores, restaurants, yeah, you may see a little bit of a higher price, but for the most part, activities are pretty comparable into surrounding areas. Like if you were to compare Summerville to an area like Mount Pleasant, you may see the prices just be a little bit higher in Mount Pleasant versus Summerville. So it really comes down to nickels and dimes. You just want to kind of determine what's going to be the best situation for your family. And I do get people all the time that say to me, well, Ryan, like, why did you and your family pick Summerville? And it was straight up for the point of like, hey, we didn't want to have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars a month on a mortgage. We still wanted to be able to go on vacation and do that kind of stuff that is exciting, and it's just not going to tie us back to our home because we don't have the extra funds to do other things. So that's probably one of the things I would say is the biggest difference between areas like Mount Pleasant and Charleston in comparison to Summerville? What would you say? Like, I know you buy most of the groceries for the kids and things like that. And then we have bought groceries in Mount Pleasant, and they're pretty comparable in price.
Everything's pretty comparable in price, except for the housing market.
Yeah, it's the only thing that really kind of goes up in Mount Pleasant versus Summerville.
It's because of the lifestyle. You're closer to the water.
You're closer to everything. You're closer to the shopping. You're closer to the restaurants downtown. So you're just paying for that convenience of being 5 minutes away, 10 minutes away from the beach versus 35, 45 minutes. All right, number 3 on our list. How bad is the traffic, Ryan? How bad is it in and around Summerville? Well, if I'm being honest, whoa, are you going to come out right hooking?
Beat up over
Boom! I just saw that. All of a sudden, I'm like, whoa.
Is her smacking me the whole time.
Her beating you up? Here, come here. Why don't you come to daddy? Let's come to daddy. All right, so let's talk traffic. Okay?
It's so bad.
So the traffic is pretty bad. Tasha's in it more than I mean, we're both in the traffic. We drive around quite a bit throughout the day, but I would say it's pretty bad in comparison to other areas. I think for people who are relocating here, they're going to find it kind of a headache, but I'm kind of used to it now. I know when it happens.
I'll give you a tip. You have to be at work at 8 o'clock. Leave at 6 or earlier than that because of the school traffic. If you need to be somewhere at 5, leave at 3, 2 o'clock maybe to get anywhere, because at 5 o'clock, nope, you'll be sitting in that traffic at least for an hour, if not longer, if you need to get downtown from here or anywhere close to here.
So, yeah, the traffic is relatively pretty bad in comparison if you're coming from a more rural or suburban area. But if you're a city driver, you understand what real traffic is. The traffic here isn't the worst, and there's ways around it. I recommend using Waze, the app, W-A-Z-E. That will certainly help you get in and around the traffic when it starts to pile up. It's probably one of the biggest hacks that I find when driving around and meeting clients and stuff like that I will use to personally get in and around areas when there is a ton of traffic. So, yeah, traffic sucks, but hey, it's not the end of the world.
Traffic sucks. Just leave early. And then you'll be fine.
All right, moving on. What are the safest neighborhoods in Summerville, Ryan? So I get this question a lot, and honestly, it's all relative. It's gonna be what you feel it is. So I personally, where we live, I feel relatively safe because I see all the visual deterrents. I mean, a lot of our neighbors, I didn't realize, are police officers or sheriffs, and they have the vehicles parked right in their driveway. So like when I pull into my neighborhood, I feel safe.
Right in the beginning of the neighborhood, there's police officer vehicles there. So It's very safe here. The non-safe places, probably non-HOA places. That's probably where all the non-safe places are.
Yeah. Well, and you kind of, when when you're discovering this area and you're driving through, you're going to feel something. If you drive into somewhere and there's, tractor trailers flipped over, or she's got your hair, or, broken down vehicles or refrigerators sitting on the front porch, like that's going to be the stuff where you're going to go, yeah, I don't know if I want to live in this neighborhood. Maybe you do. Maybe that's your thing. Maybe you like that kind of stuff. But, a lot of people will look at that and go, I don't know if that's for me. And that's why a lot of people choose master plan communities here. They choose the areas and the neighborhoods that relatively feel safe because, hey, they have an HOA, there's governance, there's laws, there's covenants and restrictions. So preventing people from doing stuff like that and creating kind of an environment that's a little on the trashy side, if I'm being honest. And there's a lot of that. You're going to run into that. You are in the low country. People live differently than how they lived back up in New York where we're from. So it's all relative. You're going to have to come here and, perceive it however you perceive it. But, that's one of the big things I do is I help clients who are looking to relocate here and understand neighborhoods and give them an idea of like, hey, check out these neighborhoods if this is what you're looking for. All right, guys, if you're watching this while scrolling Zillow on your lunch break, remember, just hit subscribe. I'm basically your Summerville tour guide without the sweaty car rides and awkward small talk, if you know what I'm saying. All right, let's get back to our list.
Is buying new construction better than resale here? Well, it all depends on the person.
Yeah, so that's one of the questions I get all the time is, Ryan, buying new construction just better than resale? And I have two answers for you. Yes.
Really?
And no.
Okay.
So here's why I think buying new construction is better than resale. And this is going to sting because I have a lot of clients who are selling a pre-owned home. And then I have people who are looking to buy pre-owned homes. And I'm going to tell you why I personally think new construction is better in this area. They're building it in such demand. And what's happening is the prices of pre-owned homes are pretty much in level with the prices of brand new homes. So if you're someone that's looking to relocate here and you're like, well, heck, if I want to buy a home and I don't want any issues or I don't want any problems with the home, hey, maybe it's got a 10-year-old roof and I'm going to have to replace that roof after a couple of years. Heck, maybe it's got a 15-year-old air conditioner. I'm definitely going to have to replace that in a couple of years. And then the house might be priced at $550,000. And it's like, well, if I take $550,000 and I go put it on a brand new construction, I'm going to get all my warranties. I'm going to have everything new. Sure, I'm going to have to put a fence in. Sure, I'm going to have to probably put a stamp patio in. But then I get to design it and I get to lay it out the way I want it. And I get to pick out these things. And so that's why a lot of people favor new construction. And right now in Summerville, this is the crazy part. The incentives are out of control. So the incentives right now, they're buying rates down to 4.5% to 4.99%. And if you're on a conventional, it's like 5.499%. So, I mean, interest rates have been at sevens. And so you've got people now who are like, well, I can get 5.49 or 4.99 on an interest rate on this brand new construction, when this pre-owned home, I'm going to be at 7.5, like all day. And they're going to throw in closing costs. It's a no-brainer for a lot of people. Now, that all being said, here's why I say no. New construction, I'm going to switch the baby for the no side. She's killing my arm. And here's why I'm going to say no on the new construction is better than resale. And this is how I believe. If you're trying to get into a neighborhood like Ashboro, Ashboro East, Legend Oaks, Plantation, where these are neighborhoods where they're aesthetically mature, they're beautiful, the houses are beautiful, but more importantly, the prices are on point and they're on larger lots and things like that. If the house is like a one-off, okay? Like the sellers went ahead and put in like a beautiful pool, a spa area, travertine tiles on the ground or stamped concrete patio. If they went ahead and did all of that, and now you are coming in and you're like, well, I see the value in this. Like if I buy new construction, I'm not getting all this. So for a lot of people, it makes more sense to go the pre-owned route. And I think it just depends on whatever your scenario is and when you need to move. Like some people say, hey, you need to move in the next 15, 30 days. Maybe the new construction isn't going to be able to do that for you. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll get it done in that time frame. It just depends. So it's one of the things that I have these conversations with people all the time, but I love getting these questions because it's like, well, there's two answers here, really, in full transparency. There's two answers, and well, you might not like one or you might like the other. So it just depends. All right, baby, come to this other side. She's got to be heavier than 25 pounds.
Probably about
you got to
27
be like 30
pounds
now, girl. You got to be heavy. Look at that.
I'm going to disagree with you.
Okay, what do you like?
New construction.
Okay, why?
Because you get to pick everything out. You get your warranties. You get what is that called when you go right before to make sure that they did everything correctly so you can take
Final walkthrough.
You get to do that to make sure they got everything done. And if you don't like that they got
Which I have today, later today.
Then you just do a list with them and they get it all completed for you. So I don't know.
And I hear what you're saying, but a lot of new construction now, you have to remember, is spec building. So
yes, but there are some builders out there that will do it just like the way you want it. So new construction.
All right. So Tasha's team new construction. I'm team both. I think there's value in either or. It just depends on the home.
I mean, sure, yes. If you buy a pre-owned home, you can get all of the things in it. But there's no pre-owned home in this world that is perfect for somebody. You're going to end up changing something out.
Oh, absolutely.
With new construction, you can just get it all done.
I agree with you on that.
Okay.
All right, moving on. All right, next question that I always get, number 6, is, Ryan, what's the vibe of Summerville? Is it more like suburban? Is it a bedroom community area? Like, is it rural, city-like? What's it like? And I got to answer, it's a little bit of all of those. It's a little bit of suburban. It is, because if you think about it like city-like, okay, doesn't Nexton feel like a little bit busier of a city?
No, it's a suburb.
Well, okay.
It's all suburb. There's no tall buildings here.
No
City
tall
is like
buildings.
Tall buildings.
Okay, all right. I see what you're saying. I'm just talking from like a size
What's a
standpoint.
bedroom?
A bedroom community?
Yeah.
It's just like, it's like a suburb. It's a bedroom community of Charleston. Like, everybody lives in Summerville versus
That is the first time
Charleston.
I'm ever hearing of this terminology, but okay.
That's all right. That's all right.
It
Right around with
is
me some more.
Suburb.
Suburb.
The end.
The end.
Did that go the way you thought it was going to go? Nope.
Moving on.
Let me ask you this, though. Don't you think, like, North Main Street is getting... I mean, if you were to compile Cane Bay, Nexton, and Clarence Crossroad, isn't that the size of, some cities?
No, there's no tall A city is tall
I disagree.
buildings.
We'll agree to disagree on this one.
It's a suburb. There's little
Don't fight
houses
me.
everywhere. There's houses everywhere.
Don't hit me either.
There's communities everywhere. It's
No.
a suburb. It's not a city.
Okay.
I'll kick your chest through your back.
Moving on.
Number 7, what schools are actually good and which ones are just meh? Well, I got to tell you. So, full transparency, can't really give you much information on schools other than what you can probably already dig up on Google. And so if you're somebody that's looking to move here, you're going to hear a lot of information about Dorchester District 2. You'll even see some realtors, which I don't know how they do this, put notes in the comment section of their listings that say, this home is located in the desirable Dorchester District 2 schools. I'm just going to brush over that one. But, we're not supposed to really talk about schools, but as a father and as someone who has an opinion on things, and talking to you as folks who are looking to relocate here and giving my opinion, I feel that both school systems do a really good job. You have both Berkeley County and Dorchester County. Are there better schools in each one? Yes, absolutely. I feel my kids go to a great school in Berkeley County, but I also feel like if we were to move over to Dorchester County, they'd also be going to a really good school. So, you have to do your own due diligence. This is something I talked to people about. Tasha and I, when we looked into schools, that was what we did.
Go look at the schools. Go tour the schools. Go look at talk to the teachers. Whichever neighborhood you're going to live in, just go to the school and check it out. And then you'll be able to form your own opinion on the school and whether it's right for your child.
And since we've had experience with kids who have needed some help throughout the years, we've had really good experience with Berkeley County in assisting for different programs and things like that. Because one of our sons has apraxia. So, we got special help with him and he's doing fantastic now.
Yes. The education or the special education program is very good here. They have IEPs for the kids, which you have to go and speak with the teachers and do meetings and all that. And they do evaluations on the kids, which everything's fantastic. We haven't had a single problem. And the kids have benefited tremendously from the special ed programs.
All right, I think it's time to put her down for a nap, and I think I'm going to leave Tosh. Tosh, I could see her. She's just like giving it her all right now. She's like, all right, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to help out, but
sorry, guys, I'm done.
I appreciate it, Tosh. Well, thanks for stopping in.
All right.
All right, I will finish these questions now and keep it moving. All right, guys, I am back. Tasha, obviously with the baby, she was not having it. Normally, some days, the baby, cool as a cucumber, she'll sit there, she'll be quiet, she won't do anything. Next day, she turns into like Chucky and just starts to hit and scratch and bite. And
I'm Chucky, and I wouldn't talk if I were you.
I mean, she bit my arm while we were on camera, and I had to take it and just kind of had to suck it up. So, yeah. All right, moving on. Number 8, how far is Summerville from the beach or downtown Charleston and the airport, Ryan? We got to know, like, what's the time? So, full transparency, if you're looking at the beach, plan to go 40 minutes to 45 minutes, maybe even 50 to 55 minutes if you're looking at Folly Beach. Now, if you're looking at Isle of Palms, probably 40 to 45 minutes. It's not a crazy trek to get there. Downtown Charleston, on a good day, little traffic, maybe 30 minutes, 35 minutes. And then the airport, 25, 30 minutes, just a little bit because it's near Boeing and you get a little congestion over there. So I would say if you are planning a day out, give yourself a good hour window buffer. You may end up at your location early, but in my opinion, it's better than getting there late and then having to sit in even more traffic, which is a nightmare. But you already know all about that. All right, moving on, number 9. So Ryan, what's the deal with HOA fees in neighborhoods like Cane Bay, Nexton, or Carnes Crossroads? So, okay, let's break this all down for you. Cane Bay, Nexton, and Carnes are all 3 separate neighborhoods, 3 master plan communities, but all separate. And the neighborhoods have HOA fees. Now, Cane Bay has a master HOA for the entire neighborhood. That's about $124 a year. And then each subsection has its own HOA, meaning each subsection has its own amenity center, maybe its own play park, maybe a little area to go and sit and have lunch, like all that good stuff. That's what you're going to find in Cane Bay. So Cane Bay really, if you live in regular Cane Bay, you have 2 HOAs, which total up to be about $700, $800 a year. And then if you live in the lakes of Cane Bay, you're going to have another HOA, a third HOA essentially. And that generally is somewhere about $100 a month or $1,200 a year. Again, depending on what neighborhood you live in. All these HOAs are different in each one of the Cane Bay neighborhoods. It's not like, oh, these 3 neighborhoods have the exact same HOA. It doesn't work like that. Now, if you live in Nexton, okay, now Nexton has its HOA, it's $850 a year, but it also has a district improvement tax, which is basically a 30-year tax that's going to be on your mortgage. It's going to be on your home, and you're just helping to pay for the district improvements of the neighborhood. So if you think of Nexton like a big hole, anytime they add to it, they put in a park, maybe somebody hits a deer. It's not Summerville road crew coming out to clean that up. It's going to be Nexton's people. So think about it. It's what's keeping your neighborhood pretty, appealing, that kind of stuff. So that's where your district improvement money goes. And then you have a neighborhood like Carnes. Oh, and excuse me, the neighborhood district improvement tax, about $895 a year. And again, that goes up every single year. So that will change year after year, but I planned it for it to be right around $895. Now, if you live in a neighborhood like Carnes Crossroads, that's an agrihood. They also have an HOA, but with their HOA, they also do have the neighborhood district improvement tax as well. So same exact thing as Nexton. And then they have a new clubhouse, which their new clubhouse is going to be a part of the new HOA fee, which I'm actually waiting for them to roll out. There's been some speculation as to what it is and what it will be. I'm actually waiting for the official word on what that'll be. But you can plan to be somewhere around $1,500 to $1,600 a year in HOA. So just kind of plan for that, and that might actually be higher, but at least I'm giving you kind of real world numbers as far as what I have been told. And again, that number may change, but we'll see once they do open and release their new amenity center, which is very exciting. You'll be able to come there to their little market and pick that stuff up. So really, really cool. I highly love the idea of Carnes Crossroads. And its location is fantastic. If you're someone that's got a commute, you're looking to be on the highway in just a few minutes, you can definitely do that in Carnes Crossroads. Now let's dive into question number 10 that I always get. Are home prices still going up, or is the market slowing down, Ryan? Oh, I get this question a lot, right? People, I swear they're always like, so Ryan, the market there, because here it's slowing down and house prices are dropping. And they're like, how are house prices there, Ryan? Like, you're going to tell me they're dropping as well, right? And I'm like, no. In fact, that price correction that you're talking about, yeah, that happened a few months ago. Home prices have kind of gotten to where they need to be or where they're going to be. And now, things are slowly ticking back up. The incentives are there. Yeah, absolutely. It's a buyer's market right now. But in a few months, when these incentives go away, maybe interest rates come down, maybe there's more buyers in the market. House prices are going to continue to climb up. And that's what I tell people. Like, the best time for you to buy a home here was yesterday. It was yesterday. But today, you can still get a great home and a great price. But just know, every day you wait, the prices are going to continue to go up. This is not a slow market. This isn't a market where, we see things pause or slow down. Remember, our climate is great here. And if you're going to be somebody that's relocating and you're thinking about buying a home here, but more importantly, you're just like, hey, listen, I want to get a really good deal, then you need to jump on the market today. Now, let me explain something. I want to give you guys a little trick that I play in getting my deals done. And this is something that, again, it's not a trick. I shouldn't have used the word trick. It's more of a tactic that I use in getting my deals done or my deals accepted. So if you're somebody who really likes new construction, but you're also open to the idea of a pre-owned, let's say you go see a pre-owned home and you look at it and it's got some age on the roof or the HVAC or maybe the water tank, and you're just not sure, like, hey, is this going to last for a couple years, 5 years? Are we going to have to be replacing this pretty soon? One of the things I do is I line up a few different options, and I will have a conversation with the listing agent and say, listen, my clients are kind of leaning one of three different ways. One way is your property. The other two ways are going to be new construction. And honestly, the incentives are pretty amazing. We'd really like to come to the table with an offer, but again, we're just not looking to insult anyone. And I'll tell you what, these people are so appreciative that I had the conversation, or at least gave them the opportunity to compete against new construction. And so when you're asking me, Ryan, are prices coming down? Are they going up? Well, it just depends on the scenario. It depends on what situation we're looking at. Because if you're okay getting a pre-owned home and allowing me to do a little bit of negotiation with the listing agent and maybe the seller, then I can help you get the price down. Now, not every seller is going to be open to negotiating. A lot of sellers just want to get the highest and best price and be done with it and then walk away. But where you live in a real world, and that's not how every transaction is. So allowing me the ability to come in and negotiate on your behalf will really make a big difference in how we get you a good price on that pre-owned home. Now, you might be saying, well, Ryan, can't you do the same thing in new construction? Not really. These new construction deals are pretty competitive. I mean, you have some builders right now offering 4.99% with a $30,000 incentive on top of maybe $12,500 in closing costs. Not a whole lot of pre-owned people are throwing out those kinds of deals. And you may say, well, that's because the builders have a lot of money packed into these homes. No, not really. I mean, yeah, they have numbers they have to make, but they're moving these homes at discounted rates. If you were seeing what the options were, I mean, you're sometimes getting the options free in these spec homes. So something to consider. And again, these are all questions when people ask me like, hey, how's the market there? What's it look like? These are the things I'm telling people. And so you need to understand that even though your market might be slow, this market is still relatively hot and it's not slowing down anytime soon. Number 11 question that I always get, people always want to know, Ryan, what are the best kept secret neighborhoods in Summerville right now? Well, this is a very good question. So in my professional opinion, I think if you can find a neighborhood that gives you at least 1/4 of an acre, so 0.25 or larger of a lot, maybe it is a pre-owned home, not deal breaker, because a lot of these pre-owned homes are having general contractors or investors come in, buy them, gut them right down to the studs, and then flip them for a higher price. And that's okay. I'm like totally cool buying a house that an investor came in, dumped a ton of money into, and now we've got this beautiful home. And so not do not hate on that at all. I actually like that a lot. So I like neighborhoods that have a little bit more character to the homes. Maybe it's a brick style home. Maybe the homes aren't all in a row stacked together. The lots have a little bit of differentiating differences, like maybe some mature tree lines. Maybe it's got a big wide open lot in the back. Maybe it sits on a cul-de-sac. So when you ask me what are the best kept secret neighborhoods, I immediately go to a lot of the older neighborhoods. So let's kind of create a small list here, shall we? Ashboro and Ashboro East would be at the top of that list, next to neighborhoods like Quail Arbor, Iron Gate. These are neighborhoods where you're finding homes that sit on a little bit of a larger lot. And more importantly, you're finding homes that have been recently updated, everything from HVAC to roof to, hot water tank, all that stuff. And it's all being done now, and then the home gets listed. And so that's probably one of the things that I really look for when I think about, hey, if I was to move and I wanted to move into one of these niche neighborhoods or these neighborhoods that I talk about all the time, they'd have to have 6 bedrooms, and most of them don't, to be honest. But that's the thing. That's what we look for. We look for those style of homes that are kind of a little bit different or sit on bigger lots. So all that being said, that's where I would say, if you're somebody that's looking for that niche neighborhood, neighborhoods like Legend Oaks, Ashboro, Quail Arbor, they're beautiful neighborhoods and they have a unique feel to them. And it's probably one of the reasons why so many people flock to those neighborhoods is because there's so much gentrification happening right now. And those neighborhoods are in great areas too. Not to mention the historic district. If you have the money for the historic district, and it's usually over $500,000, over $1 million sometimes in some parts. The historic district is my favorite. It's beautiful over there. The trees, the way these homes sit back, the curb appeal, all of it. It's amazing. And so when you ask me what neighborhoods really catch your eye, these are the ones. Now, if you ask me, hey Ryan, if you were to buy a new construction home and move into one of these communities, which one would you move into? What master plan community would you move into? And I think if I had to do it in the next 5 years, looking down the scope, I would probably actually pick the lakes at Cane Bay because I know what their future vision is. Their future vision have this Daniel Island, really beautiful, stately looking homes meshed together with a very unique water system, lake system all throughout there. I think it's going to be a very beautiful way to kind of finish off the neighborhood. And I think that's the plan. That being said, I would also consider Nexton. If there was a bigger lot in Nexton, we have 5 kids, 2 dogs. God knows, if my wife's going to add a 6th to that, who knows? It's up to her really at the end of the day. But that's why I say, we would need a big home. We need a 6-bedroom home. Do we want to be on 0.17 acre again? Probably not. No, I want to be on something a little bit more spacious where the kids have space to run and play. And if we want to build something in the back, we can do that. So, it really comes down to, I feel personally, those neighborhoods that I'm talking about, those have the bigger lots. But I would certainly consider neighborhoods like Cane Bay, Lakes at Cane Bay, Nexton, even Carnes Crossroad. I do not have an issue with Carnes Crossroad. Now, neighborhoods like the Ponds, Summers Corner, those are going to be a little bit too far out for me and my family personally, just because we like to get to things in 5 to 10 minutes. We love where we live now because we're not far from downtown Nexton Square. We can get to that stuff relatively quickly. And to be honest, that's where a lot of our kids' after school activities are. So I'm not driving 30 minutes just to get to that side of town. So all that being said, if I had to pick those neighborhoods, or if I had to pick neighborhoods and tell my clients, and I do, those are the neighborhoods I'm telling them about. Those are the neighborhoods where I think you're going to get the best bang for your buck, especially in the pre-owned market. All right, guys, moving on, number 12. So if I visit for a weekend, I love this one. What should I do to get a feel for the area? How many open houses should I see, Ryan? Listen, if you're trying to get a feel for the neighborhood or the area, one of the last things you should do is go to an open house. And I know what you're thinking, because like everyone in their mind sees HGTV and they're like, oh my God, Ryan, we got to see 3 houses in a neighborhood. And then we're going to know this is the neighborhood for us. It's going to be great. We're going to walk through and we're going to have an inspirational moment here. No, it's not the truth. Listen very careful. If you want to know how to get into an area or a neighborhood that's going to make sense for you, if you want to learn about an area or a neighborhood that's going to make sense for you, you have to live it. And what I mean by that is you have to pretend like you live here. So most people get a hotel, they come here and they get a rental car. Great. We can meet, have a meeting. We'll talk about areas. Let me help guide you and kind of, hey, your price point, you're looking for a 3-car garage. This is where I think you should possibly consider. And then from that appointment, go out and pretend like you live here. Go have lunch at one of the local restaurants. Go shopping at the grocery store. Even if you buy just a few things, it doesn't need to be big. Even if you're just pushing the cart around the grocery store, see if you like it. These are big things that I talk to people about. Go to the gym. Go to the gym in the morning. If you're a gym person in the morning, get a 1-day pass, go to the gym, try it out. Golf cart lifestyle. You want to try out golf carts? There's golf cart rental companies I can put you in contact with. Listen, in order for you to determine if you like a neighborhood, people put so much emphasis on the houses, and you need to put emphasis on the neighborhood. Because if you don't like the grocery store, or you don't like the gym, or you don't like the shopping or the food, you are not going to like your house. I don't care how many times you tell me, oh, we're introverts, we'll never go out, we'll just stay in our house. Great, but eventually you're going to do something, and it's whether you like it or you don't like it, which is going to make the determination, is this the right fit for us? And so many people, I got to tell you, I've had people tell me afterwards, they've like, hey, we've lived here for 2 years now, we're just not liking it. What's some of the things you don't like? Oh, I don't like the grocery store. I don't like the organization of it. I don't like how far I got to drive my kids to their after school day activities. I don't like how far I've got to commute. Guys, if you have to commute here, drive from the neighborhood that you're considering to your job on the busy times. Get an understanding of what that looks like. So many people are just like, no, we want to go look at houses all day. We have these 10 houses that we can't buy because we're not ready to buy right now, but we want you to show it to us. And that's going to help us determine whether or not we want to live in this neighborhood. No, it's not, guys. Guys, listen to me. The best way for you to get to understand if you're going to fall in love with an area is you have to experience it. That's what my wife and I did. We took our kids to the park in the neighborhood we bought in, and we're just like, let's see if we even like this area, because if we don't, we're pulling and getting the hell out of here. And we met so many nice people. We met so many nice families. We talked to other couples who had kids, and they're really the ones who solidified it for us. I mean, we probably would have kept looking, but we talked to these great people. They made us feel comfortable, and that's what ended up getting us to feel absolutely amazing with the neighborhood we ended up purchasing in. So if you're someone that's looking to come down here and experience the area, really experience it, you got to pretend like you live here. Get up one morning, go to the beach, see what that feels like. Drive back to the neighborhood. And to attribute, you may want to get a hotel in that neighborhood. There's hotels in Nexton. There's hotels near Cane Bay. There's hotels near Carnes Crossroads. So again, try to live the neighborhood as much as possible. That's going to make all the difference in the world for you, especially when it comes to being like, okay, now we know that we want to live in such and such neighborhood. Now we need to get everything in order, get our home on the market, get it under contract, and then that's when we're going to start doing these home tours. Because what's going to end up happening is you're going to see something you fall in love with, and then it's going to be like, okay, how do we get this all figured out? How can we get this house and get our house on the market and get all this and do it in 30 days? It's almost impossible. So I tell everybody, we got to get your ducks in a row, especially if you think you're going to get here and you're going to be like, hey, we really love it. We want to pull the trigger ASAP. Well, that was question number 12. And if you're still not sure if Summerville is the right fit, don't worry. I've got a full video breakdown and the best and worst parts of living here. And spoiler alert, there is a Waffle House on every corner. Click right here to see the next video.